Hi, everyone, and welcome. I'm David Vannasdall, Superintendent for Arcadia Unified School District, and I want to bring you some updates today from our most recent school board meeting. Now, to be honest, I was really hoping we would never have to have this meeting. 5 years ago, almost to the day, I was out phone banking and walking precincts with many of you in our community, asking our local citizens to support a Measure A local revenue parcel tax that would help support our schools during a very difficult time. A recession was across the country. In California, we were hoping this was a temporary fix to bring local revenue to our schools, and fortunately, that passed. 5 years ago, we were hoping that that was temporary and we would be in a much better time 5 years when that came to an end, that schools would be adequately funded and we'd be back competing at a very high level across the nation, if not internationally. Unfortunately, that has not happened. We have managed to climb out of a recession across the country, but school funding in the state of California continues to be at the very lowest in the country, one of the lowest states in the country. And within our state, we have a Robin Hood formula that believes that a high wealth community should be able to be funded lower than other communities because we have the ability to go out to our taxpayers and ask for local revenue. I don't personally believe in this formula and believe that it is fair to our taxpayers, but it's the model that we have. And so this meeting, two Tuesdays ago, by our school board was a courageous move to recognize that although we don't control the funding formula in the state of California, that the level of education that we provide is a reason so many of you have moved to Arcadia. And in order to continue that tradition of excellence and that high level of education, we needed to ask for local revenue, a continuation of the parcel tax that we passed 5 years ago. A very courageous move by our board members, something they don't necessarily want to do, but recognize it's where we are. So I want to share with you just a little bit about the history of our parcel tax, and also moving forward, the move that our school board made and what that means for you. So let's get started. Measure A was approved on March 3rd, 2012 in a special all mail-in ballot election. You can see it was really close to the cutoff that it needed. 6,700 votes for yes, 3,265 for no. Because it was approved, it approved 228 per parcel with exemptions for homeowners age 65 and over and low-income homeowners. This is very important to recognize because we do have a large population of citizens that are over 65, and they are on a fixed income most of the time. So the ability to absorb $228 was difficult for them. So they were able to receive a waiver, and that will continue as well as we move forward. That money generated approximately $3.5 million each year. And again, locally controlled funding that could not be taken away by Sacramento. That money at the time was specifically funding 40 teachers and 3 counselors. That is a significant number of staff. It is now, because of the cost of living going up, is only able to support 28 teachers and 3 counselors, but 28 teachers, you can imagine, is still about the size of staff at one of our middle schools or elementary. So a significant support for education in Arcadia. One of the things that's important for you to know is that there's an independent citizens oversight committee, and annual audits are mandatory for this money. So in a public meeting to the school board by a panel of citizens that see all of the expenditures that occur from this money and ensure that every penny is spent according to how it was asked for. It automatically expires after 5 years, which is why we're having this conversation now. It will expire as of this June. Without renewal, by July, no parcel tax can appear on the tax bills in 17-18, and thus $3.5 million will drop out of our budget, out of our revenue in AUSD. So let me give you a little bit about the parcel tax basics. This is all parcel taxes. So a parcel tax renewal measure requires 66.7% support from those voting on the measure, a very high percentage. The variable terms of the measure are set by the district. Voters get that in the ballot. And it's the use of funds, the tax rate, the duration, exemptions, and accountability provisions. All planning and preparation of a renewal measure for the ballot may be coordinated by and funded by AUSD. However, all advocacy campaigning for a measure must be coordinated by an independent campaign committee and privately funded. So let's talk about the feasibility of a parcel tax moving forward, knowing this one is coming to an end. A polling company was hired to call many of our taxpayers and ask them some very specific questions on their level of support. So, polling the AUSD voters that are likely to vote in a 2017 election, this was the results. 68% support for a renewing funding at 288. Again, last time it was 228, but again, the spending power going down over the years because of the cost of living. So the new amount is 288 per parcel for 18 years. And I want to add that that amount is still significantly lower than many of the neighboring districts that have parcel taxes. An example would be San Marino right next to us that are roughly $1,200 per parcel. Again, we're going at 288. It's also going for 18 years. And many people say, how did you come up with 18 years? When we were doing the polling, there was many parents that have young children in our district. In fact, they moved here because of our schools. And they wanted us to ensure that if they continue to support this parcel tax, that it will be around, it will be providing revenue, ensuring that the staff is at a level for the entire career of their child in Arcadia. Thus, the 18 years is about the lifespan of a child, their schooling. The polling showed that parents significantly were more supportive than non-parents, and women significantly more supportive than men, just the way the poll resulted. Support increases marginally and solidifies substantially with positive messaging. Obviously, the more positive news and accomplishments that people hear about the district, the more supportive they are, but also showed that it drops below the 66.7% threshold for passage when an opposition campaign is simulated. Current voter support for a renewal is substantially stronger than support measured for the creation of the parcel tax in 2012. What that means is, although we're polling right about the percentage that we need for passage, we're actually polling better, almost 2% better than when we started in 2012, and we were able to successfully pass then. That's good news for us. So a renewal measure on March 7th, 2017, or this coming March, has been approved by the AUSD Board of Education unanimously. And if approved by voters, the measure will renew local school funding at $288 per parcel per year. The renewal measure is designed to last for 18 years. Renewing local school funding support. So how specifically is this money spent? To retain and attract high quality teachers. I have to tell you that this has consistently polled well over the last 5 years. In other words, when parents are asked about their priorities, retaining and attracting high quality teachers continues to be at the top. They want the very best for their kids. Keeping schools safe and clean, protecting quality math, science, reading, art, and music programs, maintaining advanced placement and honors courses in such subjects as physics, chemistry, and biology. And I want to add how proud we are that for the last 3 years, we have been working aggressively to increase the number of students participating in our AP program, our most rigorous classes. The College Board that creates the AP program recognizes that students that are exposed to and participate in a rigorous class are more likely to succeed in college, even if they don't do well on one of the AP tests. Our belief was that all of our students in Arcadia have the ability to participate in an AP class, and they should be performing at a high level, getting those 3s and above. I'm very proud to share that the College Board, just after 3 years of our work on this, have recognized Arcadia as only one of 400 districts in the country that are considered an AP honor roll district, which means that they have a high level of participation and a high level of performance on the tests. So we're very proud of that work. Strict fiscal accountability. Mandatory fiscal accountability protections include an independent citizens oversight committee and annual audits. Very important to ensure that a neutral body audits all of our expenses with taxpayer money, ensuring that every penny goes to exactly the way we said it would. That no funds may be used for district office administrators' salaries and benefits. Again, a direct tie from every penny to the classroom. And that by law, all funds will stay local to benefit Arcadia Unified Schools and cannot be taken by Sacramento. I want to add that I personally have been part of both the Measure A campaign back in 2012 and the expenditures of that money over the years, and also the facilities bond that was $218 million that touched every classroom and every campus in our district. And I say that because I cannot think of or have an example of another school district that has been better stewards of the citizens' money than Arcadia Unified. And that's not just me personally, but that's the entire team that has made that happen. When you look at the $218 million that we asked for our facilities, we had a facilities plan at that time detailing every building that we would build and everything we would do with that money. Every project was completed on time and on budget, and we continue to have a reserve left over from that we're going back now and completing some projects that are in addition to what we said we would do. I don't know of another district that could say that, and I'm very proud of that work. So this is the update. Again, as I started with, I'm disappointed that I'm having to have this discussion. I wish we were adequately funded in California, not at the highest level, but at least just even at an average level in the country so that our students can properly compete against the students in the country. But it's not there yet. And until that happens, we do have to rely on our local revenue, on our citizens to fill that gap. With your support, I'm sure that we're going to be able to continue to do that. And I'm going to bring you weekly updates as we continue through this campaign. I'm going to be out speaking to the public. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of questions. And as I get questions, I'll answer them individually when I can. And I'll also bring them to you so that if you can't make a meeting that I'm at speaking, hopefully I can answer some of your questions. Thank you for your time.